is Nano or Nano DJ, and today we are going to react to the review of the AlphaTheta XDJ-AZ. It's basically like an all-in-one controller because at the time of the release of the AZ, it was apparently the mixture of the CDJ-3000s and the DJM-A9, which both I released in the past. Just going to let you know, the crossfader is from Europe, specifically United Kingdom, so they call it the XDJ-AZ. But for American, of course, and I'm American, I'm not trying to be racist or whatever. For Americans, we call it the XDJ-AZ. So now, I guess they change it, like the description from like change it into like it's CDJ-3000X to DJM-A9. Yeah. So here it is, the beginning of controllers. The XDJ-AZ again is an all-in-one controller. So yeah, here we go.
Here it is, the one most of you have been waiting for, the XDJ-AZ from AlphaTheta, formerly Pioneer DJ. Let's take a look at the highlights reel before doing the deep dive walkthrough. For those watching who know about the XDJ-XZ from Pioneer DJ, this is basically the replacement unit. It's retained all the familiarity of the original XZ layout, but with a few key updates. Yes, with this release, we finally have a 4-channel standalone unit from AlphaTheta, meaning you can mix up to 4 decks from the same USB by toggling between the deck select buttons. The larger 10.1-inch capacitive touchscreen showcases the latest operating system found in other units, such as the Opus Quad and Omnis Duo. Working on a set of CDJ-3000s and a DJM-A9 Club standard setup feels the same, but with this, it's condensed down into one unit. The mixer effects now include the latest found on the DJ.
Yeah, so they have changed and all things like well, there is roll. There's something called the slip roll. What else is there? There's something else, but I forgot what it was. But yeah, so again, this is similar to. This is exactly like a combination of the Pioneer CDJ-3000 and the DJM-A9, and now it's going to be a AlphaTheta CDJ-3000X and the DJM-A9. So basically, I'm considering buying. Well, first I gotta buy some other controllers, which I mentioned in my post. If you haven't seen them yet, go to my community post. Anyway. Yeah, so like the DJM-A9, you can set the channels, but you want to do these sets. Say I want to do the ping pong. I can do channel 2. So yeah.
A9 with triplet filter and triplet roll included. It also features AlphaTheta's new Sonic Link technology.
Oh, yes, I forgot. AlphaTheta or Pioneer or what the fuck ever changed, or sorry, not changed, I'm sorry. They added their basically a first wireless headphones, and you can use it for you can literally use it for DJ. It's pretty incredible. That is insane. I should have done this a lot sooner, but I need to use restroom, so I'll be RV. Okay, guys, I'm back. Yeah, in case you're wondering, yes, I styled my hair. So.
Meaning you can connect to their latest wireless headphones and have ultra low latency when queuing. The sound quality has been upgraded to a 32-bit DA converter from ESS technology. There is now Wi-Fi connectivity, allowing you to access cloud and streaming direct play. This currently means being able to stream directly from Beatport or access your cloud library from Rekordbox. There is a wireless Pro DJ link, meaning you can connect the Rekordbox app from your phone, or with the Bluetooth input, you could play any audio source directly to channels 3 or 4. Smart Cue mode allows you to switch from playing with hot cues to the cue button, something I'll show you later in the video. It's basically the closest you're going to get to the latest club setup without spending the money on the latest club setup. Let's take a deep dive walkthrough where I'm going to go through each.
Oh, I forgot. So the XDJ-AZ is compatible with festivals like Tomorrowland, EDC, etc. I was actually considering using the AZ when I become an international touring DJ, and also use a laptop because it's a bit easier. But yeah, then I changed it back to using the separate CDJs and the 8.9. So yeah.
Each of the features you need to know about on this unit. At the end, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions as well as our all-important price, and I'd love to know what your thoughts are, so stick around. I'm about to take you on a full walkthrough of this unit with all of its buttons and feature set, but if you're already comfortable with all that and are looking to learn some new DJ skills, then Crossfader's DJ courses might be for you. Make sure to click the link to go check them out. Back to the review. As you can see now on the screen, we've got a lot of real estate, meaning we can see all 4 decks available in the overview waveform stacked position here, and we've got the scrolling waveforms up above. We can toggle between 2 deck and 4 decks being visible, and you can toggle between controlling each of the 4 decks using these massive deck select buttons here on the unit. Then the screen has all that inset.
Also, in case you didn't notice, the AZ is also it's also compatible. Come on, the XDJ-AZ is compatible, also compatible with USB sticks. If you use one USB stick, it'll only go 2 channel. If you use 2, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I apologize. So anyway, again, 1 USB stick equals 2 channel. 2 USB sticks equals 4 decks. But you also, like I said, you can also, I was thinking of using a laptop, and you can use the laptop can do 4 channel. Yeah.
Essential information such as your key and some beat jump parameters, the quantize functionality. You can tap the screen, you can scroll in and out of the waveforms using the encoder. All of this stuff along the top is all touch sensitive, so you can tap all of this, you can tap to go into the settings. You can scroll up and down, which is great. If I go into a playlist and then come in here, we can scroll up and down just like this. We can tap into the playlist. It's all very intuitive. This now looks familiar to the CDJ 3000 setup and some of the other Pioneer DJ and AlphaTheta units, so there's familiarity there now with the AZ. If I click the source button at the top, you'll see that we can access the USB drives. There are 2 on this unit here. We can also access a phone connected to Rekordbox, so I can connect directly into my phone and look at the tracks that are within my Rekordbox app on the phone. These are locally stored on my phone, and we can load them directly and wirelessly straight into the unit. If we go back to source, you'll see if I go here, we can log into Beatport, for example, and I can go straight into the Beatport charts. I can go into my playlists, I can go into curated playlists and browse their library. And this is all over the Wi-Fi connectivity, which you can see is found here. We can connect to the Wi-Fi There's different frequency bands in there, and there's also the option to connect via Ethernet if you don't trust the Wi-Fi in wherever this is situated. There's also Bluetooth connectivity as well. Because of the large screen now, we can toggle between different font sizes, which is really nice, and it shows many more tracks. So you can look through your library with ease, which is really nice touch. Realistically, when in this play mode, we can just see everything we need, from the BPMs to the hot cues that we've got set, or whichever performance pad we're on. That then populates on the screen just here. We can toggle between zoom or even the grid mode and edit the grid on the actual screen itself with a much easier interface than its predecessor. You can X off that and go back out. There's also the option to show or hide the beat effects, which we'll cover later in the video. And like I said, we can use the key reset and the key plus and minus to shift the key.
The predecessor is the XDJ-AZ, which is a combination of the XDJ-2000 Nexus 2 and the DJM-900 Nexus 2. Basically, what I get AZ is an all-in-one controller. So, in the screen is smaller, everything is different than the AZ. So I'll react to that after this, then we continue on reacting to other controllers.
Up and down directly from the touchscreen. All in all, I love this new screen. I love the layout. I think it provides all the information you need in a nice, clean way. And the bits that you need to touch are available to touch. And the things you don't really need to be touching, like the performance pads, because we have physical buttons, you don't need to. Like I mentioned, there is a mixer settings button now, so you can dive in here, and this is all, again, a big touch screen, so you can change all the settings of the mixer. A lot of this functionality, like the crossfader curves and the crossfader assigns, were physical switches and buttons on old units, and they've been moved now into the display rather than physical buttons, which then allows for a much cleaner, sleeker look when it comes to the mixer, allowing you to focus on mixing and not settings. We also see that on the deck here, we've lose some of the sort of printed lines and indicators that are found on most of the Pioneer DJ units, going for a much sleeker look. All in all, it looks a bit more minimal, but it really draws your focus and attention on DJing rather than switching and adjusting settings. Now for the deck section. Now imagine you've got a CDJ-3000 here, however, with some performance pads like found on various different DJ controllers. This hybrid is great for this all-in-one unit because it allows you to get really familiar with a standard CDJ layout and use the decks in the same way, with the cue and the play button as standard, track search and skipping through the track. This shift allows for shift functionality around the unit depending on the second layer of functionality, or you can double tap this to show the pad mode that you're in on that center display, which is really nice. The jog wheels here are mechanical, so they're not the same as a lot of controllers out there. These are mechanical, just like the CDJs, and you can turn vinyl mode on and off here. They respond very much exactly the same as a typical CDJ does. We've got the ring display lighting up red to show that it's on air, and it will go white when we turn the fader down. This is great for helping know, again, if you're on deck 1 or deck 3, you can see that this track is not on air until I bring this up. And when I switch back to 1, you can see this one is on air. So that's a really good indicator. We have the typical functionality like the beats.
I wonder, like a Pioneer, AlphaTheta XDJ-3000X, like they can change color, like the scroll button and the cue and play buttons. I wonder if they change color. Because this one, the scroll button is red. The cue button I think is white. I forgot what color is the green. Like the play button, like the color of it. Anyway. I wonder if they'll update the XDJ-AZ for that. Who knows?
Syncing, which we can sync between all 4 decks. We also have key sync available as well. So if we needed to key sync between different tracks, we can do that here. We've got slip reverse, which reverses the track but then jumps to where it would have been. We've got the slip mode, which allows us to do anything to the track, but it will carry on playing in phrase and in time. We can set loops, but it will jump back to where it would have been. Turning slip mode off, we can beat jump through the track. Now at the moment, beat jump is on 16 beats. We can change the value by holding shift and then toggling the value up and down, and you can see that we're now on 8 beats or 4 beats. And that's nice to be able to change that value there directly underneath these buttons. Above that, we have the auto beat loops, 4 beats and 8 beats. They can just be toggled on and off, and then if you press them again, you can half and 2 times the loop. To exit that, we can press this exit button here, and it will exit the loop. You can also set your manual loops as standard with an in and an out. You can change the out adjust by pressing the out or pressing the in to change the in adjust. Toggle it again to hold it in place and exit this way. The looping is affected by quantize, which is found here, and this toggles quantize on and off for both decks. This value can be changed within the settings from 1 beat to a half to a quarter to an 1/8 beat, depending on how you want it set up. Then moving across, we have the cue loop call button. So if you save any cue points, such as, let's say we wanted to have a standard cue point here, we'd set a cue point. We could then store that in the memory and it will add a memory point. If we had another one set on the track, such as here, we could then store that in the memory, and we can quickly toggle between the two as static cue points. The same can be applied by saving a loop as well. This is different to hot cues, which I'll explain shortly. Then moving around, we have the vinyl speed adjust, which allows us to pause the track and create this vinyl braking effect. With it off, we just get that straight stop. This can be changed within the settings as well, so that you can have it on both the start and the stop of the track, the touch or the release. That's usually how DJs would have it set up though, is just on the release, which is when you stop the track. The jog feel allows you to change the jog reel's tension from light all the way around to heavy. So that's just personal preference on how you like to DJ, but we've got the functionality there. Like I mentioned, vinyl mode is here to turn on and off. With vinyl,
I did mention on the 3000X review, usually the DJs will put the jog wheel setting in the middle. Reason why I don't know, but yeah.
Mode off, then the top of the jog wheel nudges the track faster or slower rather than scratches the track. Lastly, we have the tempo adjust as standard between plus or minus 6, 10, 16 and wide, so we can drastically change the BPM if we need to, or we can have a much finer adjustment on one of the smaller settings with master tempo underneath, locking the key of the song no matter where you move the tempo adjust. All of that's duplicated as you switch over to deck 3. This is a whole new layer to the system, so you can load any tracks in here and that becomes a new song on a new deck, and you can toggle between the two and it has independent functionality. The mixer section of the AZ basically inherits the DJM A9 layout and functionality pretty much down to a T. All of those essential features that you'd find on a club standard mixer can be found here across all 4 channels, such as a 3-band EQ with the mode to switch between isolator or EQ mode, so you can get a total kill or a minus 26 dB. We've got the sound color effects for each individual channel, including space, dub echo, crush, sweep, noise, and filter. Each of these sound color effects has a parameter control to change things like the resonance of the filter to make it smoother or harsher. And that works across all the different sound color effects. The channels and the faders all feel nice. They've got a good tension to them. They feel very much typical of Pioneer DJ or now AlphaTheta. So they feel great to mix on, and it very much replicates the feeling of mixing on a club mixer. The headphone section is where it gets quite interesting, because we've got the standard controls here, like the headphone level and the cue and mix master, so we can toggle between the channel cues and the master cue and blend them together. We also have link queue to be able to send anything through the link, per DJ link through the queue as well. You can preview the songs. If I go back to my USB and go to my library, we can hold on any of the preview waveforms and it will play within, using link queue, within the headphones. Now also, you might have noticed that there's no headphones plugged in, and that's because with this unit, it's now introduced these wireless technology, which is AlphaTheta's proprietary technology, with their Sonic Link. And on the face of the unit, there's basically a Sonic Link pairing mode, and this works with the Sonic Link, the new headphones that include Sonic Link from AlphaTheta as well. So basically these headphones are not plugged in, they're not wired in, but they are connected just by pressing a button on the headphones to pair with the unit. It's as simple as they work just like any others. You can change the volume directly on the unit here. You can change all the mix and master on the unit here as well. So pretty cool to see that technology, no more wires going to the equipment. And I imagine this kind of technology is going to start rolling out more and more on future AlphaTheta products, which is cool to see. If you want to hear more about that technology and these headphones, then make sure to just watch the review that's linked in the card. Lastly, on the mixer, we have the Beat FX channel, which can be displayed via this toggle touch button here. And this shows you all the parameters that you can set up for the effects. So we've got loads of effects here that are replicated from the DJM-A9. All the standard things like echo, spiral, reverb, but we've also got new for all-in-one units is triplet filter and triplet roll. So just to play these for you. We can change the parameter, the beat fraction here. And then the X pad controls the parameter. So you get more finer control. And we've got triplet roll.
Yeah, the thing where you slide your finger back and forth, it's basically like the DJM 900X2. And yeah, so, and also I forgot about this. So there is like this thing, like this program where you can customize your, say for example, your tablet or your computer. However, this program is compatible with Windows and iOS or Apple. They yeah, so this program is made, it's made by my most favorite artist, Deadmau5. He is an amazing engineer. I could not, a computer engineer. So yeah.
Roll as well. Now something to bear in mind, which is quite cool, is if I set this off, it's on a third beat, but then if I use the X pad and go down to a quarter beat, when I release, it goes back to a third. So it doesn't change what the setting is that you've got it set on. This X pad works independently, which is nice for doing like rolls like this. On a bit of beat, let me go to the song. And you can roll different parameters, but no, it goes back to that original one. And that works across all of them as well, let's say.
Okay, so in case you're wondering, like usually DGMs will be like in order 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, like this one will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to connect your controller to like CDJs, you can do that, and it'll be their deck 3 and deck 4. But 1 and 2 will be the XDJ. So 1 deck, 2. So there's deck number 1, 2, deck number 1, deck number 2, deck number 3, deck number 4. Yeah. But as mentioned, the deck select, if you have two USBs or a laptop, you can select the deck one, nice. You can select 1 and then 3, which is 1 and 3, and then 2 and 4, which is 2 and 4. So yeah.
Echo, for example, if I have that on 3/4, go down to a 16th, and then when I release, it goes back to 3/4. The effects have a quantize button so that it locks in time with the beat. You can also use between the auto and tap, or the tap, and you can manually change the BPM by holding tap and using the time function. Put it back on auto. We can use the time to manually scroll between the different beat fractions and the length of time. We've also got the channel selects here, master, mic, and then crossfader A and B, all as standard, found on pretty much all Pioneer DJ mixers. The first of the performance pads is hot cue, standard on most equipment. We can jump to different parts of the track with the different hot cues. We can set a new hot cue, and we can also save loops by having an active loop and then tapping an empty slot. You can jump to these points at any point in the track. To delete, we hold shift to delete that way. Underneath hot cue, we have gate cue, so if the track is paused, these work just like the cue button, and we have to hold the pad down for it to activate from that position for things like finger drumming. There's also a smart cue, which kind of combines the both, and this is a touch function here on the screen. With smart cue on, no matter which hot cue I jump to, it then means when I cue the track up, it works from that point. So you could do things like that. Next we have beat loop, and as you can see on the screen, it shows the parameters from 32 beats as a beat loop down to 1/4 beats. And underneath beat loop, we have beat loop 2 with more obscure parameters such as 9, 7, 6, 5, 3, 3/2, 1, and 3/4 length loops. Then we have slip loop, which will roll the track, and then when I let go, it jumps to where it would have been. The white pads are 1/3 and 3/4 for those more obscure loop lengths. Underneath there we have key shift mode. This first pad will key sync, just like this button does here. The bottom one will reset the key if you've moved it. These two go up and down semitones. This can also be done on the screen as shown here. And then we have these automated +7, +12, -5, and -12. Let's reset the key. And then lastly we have beat jump, everything from 4 beats left and right down here to 1 beat, no, half a beat left and right here. Beat jump 2 has much larger parameters, 64 beats left and right, with everything in between down to 8 beats left and right throughout the track. Just like with any Pioneer DJ or now AlphaTheta product, there are a whole host of settings built into the unit. So if we hold the menu button, you can see here we've got the deck settings, the mixer settings, audio output, display, network, Bluetooth, and general. There are a bunch of different settings within there that you can change and manipulate depending on your DJ style, such as mixer settings, and there's loads of different settings for depending on how you want your crossfader set up or your up faders to sound and feel. There's the EQ modes in there, whether you want EQ or isolator. And then there's modes for how you want the decks 3 and 4 to work. So if you've got external units such as samplers or CDJs or anything like that, or even just something that's playing DVS, you can control all of that and tell the unit what's plugged in and what input you want. Again, this is stuff that used to be found as actual switches on the unit, but they've put it within the settings, which I feel makes total sense, and it really means that I'm just focusing on DJing, and when I want to set up my equipment I can just come in here and set it up, which is quite nice. Before we dive into the connectivity, just to let you know that we have the master level up here with the EQs on the master as well, so we can fine-tune the sound that comes out of the master channel with a booth control. Then on the opposite side we have the 2 mic levels and controls. So we've got the levels, the low, the mids, and the highs for EQing that mic, and then you've got the push to talk and talk over, so you can control 2 different mic inputs directly there on top of the unit. There are some extra settings for the mics hidden in mixer settings here. For example, you can see mic settings. You can add the feedback reducer to light or heavy, and you can add some beat effects to mic 1 or mic 2 or mic 1 and 2, so you can automatically route those effects into there as well. As you can see along the back of the unit, we have a USB-C connection, so you can connect your laptop to this unit, and it works plug and play with the Rekordbox software, and Serato DJ Pro support will be coming in December 2024, we've been told. Again, we've got the link port, so you can Pro DJ link or use an Ethernet cable to connect.
Yeah, so like I said, released in December 2024. This is obviously back in 2024, so it's already been released. And if you want the XDJ-AZ, depending how much you have, like money-wise, then you should get it because it's awesome. Again, it's like the CDJs and the DGM, but combined. And I have seen this review before, but that was way before I made this channel. And of course, it was when I had my main channel. If you don't know my main channel, NanoPro, you can, I'll put in the description. So yeah.
Other players to this or to the internet, we've got the XLR balanced master out and then the unbalanced RCA, as well as the balanced booth output on 1/4" jacks. The channels 3 and 4 both have RCA inputs for line or phono, and then the mic 1 and 2 are both combi jack XLR balanced inputs as well, with an AC in for power. Along the front, you'll see the 1/4" and 1/8" headphone output, as well as that pairing mode button for the Sonic Link. Just to reiterate, that Sonic Link, it doesn't just work with any Bluetooth headphones, it is with their proprietary headphones that have Sonic Link included, and Sonic Link is an ultra low latency version of Bluetooth so that you can hear directly what's going on and not have that delayed response, which is ever so common with Bluetooth. If you found this walkthrough useful and you're at the stage where you're trying to learn how to DJ, make sure to check out our XDJ courses over on our website. We dive deep into all the XDJ units, not just what they do, but actually how to DJ on them and get creative. Okay, so my thoughts and opinions on the XDJ-AZ. Well, ultimately, like, I've come from a Pioneer DJ background, playing in many clubs. I'm very familiar with the Pioneer DJ club setup, so felt right at home instantly on this, and very much welcomed these new features that were upgraded from the XDJ-AZ, which was an extremely popular unit. I imagine this is going to be just as popular as well. There's no faults with like what is here right now. I think the 4-deck functionality, all from one USB, people were asking for that and desperate for that with the original XDJ-AZ. So obviously it's nice to see that functionality now rolled out on this unit. It doesn't have an abundance of new features. It just feels up to date with what is current from the Pioneer DJ range and that is found in clubs. It's not groundbreaking in terms of the technology. What it is familiar with what is out there in the clubs at the moment. So if you want a setup at home that feels the same as being in the clubs without spending that money on a full club CDJ setup, then this is the option for you. Now, you're still spending a lot of money on it. It's not cheap. It is not cheap at all.
So I've seen it. So XDJ for Americans, 3.1 thousand, or yeah, 3.1K, $3.1 thousand. I didn't see the pounds and whatever that is. I heard about the symbol on the third one. I forgot what it was. Yeah. So for Americans, $3.1 thousand, or specifically $3,199 for the United Kingdom and all that, 3,299 pounds. And then, yeah. Anyway.
And it's not necessarily like a cheap option for mirroring CDJs. It's cheaper and it's more compact. And then you do have the flexibility of adding extra CDJs to really make use of 4 channels and 4 decks if you want to, or adding maybe a DJ S1000 as a sampler to one side. So it's got that flexibility and functionality to work for most DJ use cases. It is pretty heavy, so just bear that in mind if you're buying this to lug around to different gigs and venues and events, it is pretty heavy. So just keep that in mind. It's not a super portable unit, but it's way more portable than CDJs would be, being 3 separate units. I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments below. Has this hit the nail on the head for you, or have they missed a few key things? Let us know your thoughts. Oh, before I forget, there's an awesome mix where you can see this fully in action if you just watch it here.
This is the
Oops. So yeah. So if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get more aware of my future videos, and have a beautiful morning or night wherever you are. And again, if you want to know my primary channel, there'll be a link down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.